Wrestling our inner hypocrite. When thinking of spirituality, many people, understandably, get hung up on sin, their own and others. Different religions teach about sin differently, and what we say and what we do and how we think are very different things when it comes to religion. And we all understand the reality of hypocrisy. We all have our own unique brand of what we can think of as our inner hypocrite. That just means that what I say and what I'm able to do each day can be different. For Christians, the thinking of Christ should be of paramount importance, regardless of what denomination of Christian one finds oneself practicing. There was a situation in the life of Christ where Christ was teaching in the temple, and a group of Pharisees sought to trap him. "Teacher," they said to Jesus, "this woman was caught in the act of adultery. The law of Moses says to stone her. What do you say?" They were trying to trap him into saying something they could use against him, but Jesus stooped down and wrote in the dust with his finger. They kept demanding an answer, so he stood up again and said, "All right, but let the one who has never sinned throw the first stone." Then he stooped down again and wrote in the dust. When the accusers heard this, they slipped away one by one, beginning with the oldest, until only Jesus was left in the middle with the woman. Then Jesus stood up again and said to the woman, "Where are your accusers? Didn't even one of them condemn you?" "No, Lord," she said. And Jesus said, "Neither do I. Go and sin no more." There are a lot of elements to unpack here, but let's focus on what Christ might have been trying to achieve here. First of all, he slowed the whole thing down. He wouldn't be bullied into their yes or no demand. He attempted to change people's thinking by forcing them to think for themselves. If only, right? So he said, "If you're without sin, go ahead." He must have had that way of communicating that he knew more than they would have liked him to know. Anyway, they kind of slinked away one by one. Next, he turned to the woman, whom we can imagine felt utterly traumatized. He does not talk to her about her circumstances. He gets her to think. He says, in summary, "Observe. Did nobody condemn you?" She looks around and she says, "No." And he replies, "Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more." Now, the Pharisees like to pounce on this as if to say, "Yeah, but he tells her to sin no more," as if this proves she's bad or more bad than the others. But this is more like the soccer coach who says, "Okay, you made a big mistake. Shake it off and go score some goals." Is every play the soccer players make going to result in a goal? No. Mistakes will be made in sports and in life, but a good coach focuses people on the ultimate point of the game, and that is what Jesus did here. He did something else for everyone present. He said, "Okay, you people with the stones, you're no different than her. She's no different than you. You need to drop your stones, and you, little lady, need to get up and have a think about your life." Now, we've talked about this before if you've been listening to me, but here's what I want to say today. What if that lady had been a man caught in adultery? Would it have looked different? Or a gay man? Or a gay woman? Or a white-collar criminal who embezzled a fortune from people, a corrupt government official, an emotionally abusive spouse, an unrepentant gossip, a drunk driver who killed someone, a drug addict who couldn't seem to recover, an alcoholic who never stopped drinking, a person who was divorced 6 times and remarried anyway, a Catholic who would never go to confession again? I think Christ would have said the same thing. Our mistakes may be different, and they may be different at different times in our lives. And some may be deliberate and may elevate to the level of sin. But we are all making mistakes, and we are all loved by Christ. He seemed to mostly care about that woman in their midst, the sinner, just as he always did. How did he view her? With hope, with compassion, with mercy, with love, with understanding, and not a whole lot of drama in Christ. The real drama here was directed at those people trying to project their stuff onto her. So let's keep that in mind when we wonder about how God feels about us. I think what Christ was trying to show there was, I actually hold this woman in high esteem. I think she'll do just fine once I get her away from all of you. I think Christ is saying to us all here, don't be confused. I hold you in high esteem. I recognize your potential. Come find me in your soul, and I will coach you too.